54 past the hour. The Biden administration says even lower gas prices are on the way after the national average dropped below $4 a gallon last week. But grocery prices are still steep, and it's starting to become more affordable for some people to dine out rather than shop themselves. A new national poll from NPR also found inflation is causing more financial problems for people of color. With us now to discuss, NBC's Sam Brock in Miami and Alfredo Romero, Associate Professor of Economics at North Carolina State University. So, Sam, how are people coping with the high cost of food?
Jose, good morning. Good to be with you. People are very good at detecting value. And when you have grocery costs that on one hand have gone up 13% year over year in July, and then you look at restaurant costs that have gone up 7.6%, one is clearly rising a lot faster than the other. And Jose, that gap is the largest it has been in about a half a century. So there is value to be had. Certainly when you talk about eating out at restaurants, it's a package deal. Everything comes all inclusive. If you were to go with your family to the grocery store and buy all the individual ingredients, that adds up. And of course, many people go well beyond what's on their list. That's when the bills really start to balloon. But Jose, I talked to moms yesterday who said if it's even close, even ballpark in terms of pricing, they would rather eat out because then they don't have to worry about cleaning up the dishes afterwards. It's just more time efficient as well. People are certainly getting creative. I spoke with Carlos Gazatua, who is the owner of Sergio's here in Miami. He talked a little bit about the behaviors that he's observing.
We're seeing a lot of people still do takeout and portioning food. So luckily for us, we have big portions. So someone can cut a chicken that maybe costs you $16, and you come out eating 2 people for $8. You can't do that in the grocery store. So we're starting to see more consumers be savvy with their dollars. It makes sense.
Jose, it should be noted that restaurants right now are definitely taking a bigger hit on their margins. For grocery stores, the pricing is a little bit more dynamic. They can change it on a daily basis, so that's why you're feeling really those costs more in the short term. It's certainly true when you talk about meats and fruits and produce. Those have really skyrocketed. Another reason to come and eat out, I know you're going to feel me on this one, cafecitos at Sergio's. Jose, it just does not get better than that, and certainly perks up your day as well.
Sam, you got to bring in the stuff that we all need that we don't have access to, but you do. But I appreciate that because that is great cafecito at Sergio's.
Best coffee.
Alfredo, it is. Alfredo, Telemundo has spoken with people who are actually skipping meals because they can't afford it. And this NPR poll says more than half of Black and Latino households, more than half, report the recent price increases driven by inflation have caused them serious financial problems compared to less than half of white households. Why is that, Alfredo?
It really has to do with the way that inflation affects different groups. Inflation is going to affect everybody, but it's particularly going to affect people that have relatively lower budgets for buying energy, for buying food, for buying transportation, because those people are going to have a lower ability to save, and they're going to have a lower ability to cushion an increase in unexpected prices.
So, Alfredo, is there something that can be done to target, to help those that are the most affected by this? I mean, Black and brown communities?
Look, the cynical answer would be that those people need to have additional sources of income, or they can have better paying jobs. Of course, if they had that ability, they would have already done so. So right now, it is very important for people that can to donate to their local charities and the local NGOs. And it is also more important to stress the availability of food pantries for people that cannot really skip meals because they cannot afford to eat. Especially we have to factor in now that schools are coming back into session and people are having struggles trying to find supplies for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, and schools are ramping back up. A lot of kids are going back to school today. Alfredo, how do you see the situation of inflation in our country going forward?
Look, with the passing of the Inflation Reduction Act, I think we're going to see in the medium term a reduction in inflation. Of course, the way economic policy works, the time frame that it does is different from the average citizen like you and I. They're talking about 2 to 5 years to 10 years reduction in the prices of drugs and reduction, an increase in the production of energy efficient cars and energy. But for the average citizen like you, we would expect that to happen a lot earlier. So I think in the medium run, we're going to see inflationary pressures ease, but in the short short run, I think we're going to see the struggle of the rebound from the pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and the pandemic in general.
Alfredo Romero and Sam Brock, I thank you very much. Sam, have a cafecito for all of us, would you? Appreciate it.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thanks. And before